Welcome to Derry Church Kitchen. Today we're going to be making Savannah spinach squares, and I've gotten that recipe out of this book, The Beach House Cookbook by Mary Jane Anders. She's a very popular novelist, and this is my autographed copy. So we'll put that in a plastic bag, so we're done with that. And when you're cooking, you can, put your cookbook right in a bag, and then you're safe. What we're going to do is we're going to use Pam, self-raising flour, tomatoes, olive oil, salt and pepper, nutmeg, garlic, ricotta, butter, and eggs. So what we want to do first is take the Pam, and we want to prepare our 13 by 9 pan. We'll spray the sides and the bottom, and we'll set that aside. Now, with the spinach, you have to use the raw spinach, and you're going to put your olive oil, 3 tablespoons of olive oil in a pan until it sizzles. And then you're going to add your garlic, your 2 tablespoons of garlic, till the spinach wilts. You're going to put it in a colander, let it drain, squeeze it real hard, get as much moisture out of it as you can. And we've already done that. And here is how it will look. This is 2 bags, but it's 1 pound. All those good stuff in there, all the garlic. Okay. Then we're going to add ricotta cheese. In there. And your Italian blend of cheese, 6 blend Italian cheese, all kinds of mozzarella, all kinds of flavors. I'm going to put that in there, and then we're going to our eggs. You might want to beat those one at a time in case you have shells. That way you're only dealing with 1 egg at a time. And the last egg. We got some ricotta there. Whoop, gotta beat it. There we go. Okay, now we have 6 tablespoons of butter, and that has to be melted, so we've already done that. Put your butter in there, everything, cheese, butter. That's a good mixture. Okay, we might want to mix that around a while. The spinach is a little hard to get even, so you just keep mixing it. Okay, now we're going to need 2/3 of a cup of self-raising flour, which I did not have at home. So what you do is you take your regular all-purpose flour, you add 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon salt, and you can keep whisking that around till it's well mixed. And I've already done that. we're going to measure out the flour. And you don't want to, when you're baking or cooking, you don't want to just put your measuring cup into a bag. You want it fluffy, not packed, because that gives you a different measurement. And then what you do after you have your flour in your cup, you level it off. And that is your 2/3 cup of flour. Now we're going to use 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. You can use ground pepper. I used table pepper today. And 1/4 cup of the nutmeg. Okay. And we want to get this well blended. This takes a little bit of patience. Get that all mixed, that we don't see a lot of the flour needs to get wet. Trying to get the spinach evenly dispersed, but I guess it's whatever it is. Now what we're gonna do with this mixture is put it in 13x9 pan. I'm gonna use a bigger spatula. Some people call a spatula a bowl cheater because it cheats the bowl of any leftovers. I thought that was funny when I heard that. Okay, then you're going to spread this out. Again, trying to get spinach, evenly disperse your dough. Your oven was preheated to 130 degrees. We're going to bake this at about 40 minutes. I'll double check that time. I think that spinach is pretty even. We're going to pop this in the oven, and just want to see what my recipe says. I think it's 40 minutes. Okay. This is our brand new oven at our church. It's beautiful. There we go. 350 for 40 minutes, or until the top of your dish is golden brown. Okay. Now, by the magic, we have one all done. You see it's nice and golden on the top. What we're going to do here is plate our our spinach squares.
Are we going to have an official taste test by Mr. Chubb?
Oh, he wants to.
Excellent. Come on around, Mr. Chubb.
Sometimes you just have to sacrifice her.
And what you can do is you take your either cherry tomatoes or plum tomatoes, put them on a pick, put them on a 1-inch square, and you can plate them. Now these picks are made from turkey needles. When you do a turkey, you have, you know, an adult party and you want to do something a little extra special. We've done it for weddings, receptions in the color of the wedding of the bride. And they're just beads, glass beads. Or you're doing more, something not quite as formal, you can just use your pick. Maybe a shorter pick, but that's...
All right, Mr. Chubb, check it out.
Okay, here we go. 2 thumbs up.
Excellent.